Another edition of Eric's Corner with a word to the not so wise. I'm being joined again by my neighbor Aaron here.
Howdy.
We're doing an outdoor episode because we're out here painting bumpers and doing some projects, and we thought it would be a little different than my usual set. So, Aaron, you have the floor. We're talking about careers and jobs and knowing your worth, and being brave about telling your employer that you need raises.
Your interviewer, your employer, the value of your work and your quality that you bring into the work, all these things. People need to have self-awareness in that they are worth something. And oftentimes if you walk into an interview or you're just going day to day, somebody might not welcome your value into the conversation and start talking to you about what you're worth. So it's automatically going to have to be on you most of the time to do that. And we were just talking about how it's really wise to interview the person that's there to interview you. Just turn the tables and actually be sitting down to identify the value of their work culture, what it is that you can do in this company long term. Am I going to be able to grow, and am I going to be able to do more, better myself in my life situation? Because money is obviously the reason we're there, but you also want to establish yourself as not just a day-to-day employee. Obviously, most people want to become the best that they can be at what they're doing. You can call it a career, or you can call it whatever you want, but you should be striving to be the best, or at least the best that you can be. So in that, the workplace has to grow with you and give you the opportunity to do that growth. And if you're walking in blindly, just hoping for the best and really just looking for somebody to give you a yes, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I go in for an interview, I'm interviewing my boss.
Yeah.
And it's a reflection of the head cheese's leadership when your supervisors come down on you for something. It's like, well, shit rolls downhill. And it's like, well, you can't have that. You got to have a head guy that doesn't just take everything out on his employees. And I feel like we've had a very big problem with that in a lot of lines of work. I mean, you and I are both on our 20th career.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
Like, there's the axiom of the workplace is consistent across all lines of work. I mean, you sold furniture, you've done all kinds of house building, and you're doing the techno posts now, and people will get burned out on their job when the stress of the manager isn't, or the contractor isn't making enough money, or there's a deficit of income, and it's like, well, I mean I can only do so much.
There's a lot that goes into that, because if you're dealing with somebody else's stress while not being paid to handle all of that stress, because that is true. There is always that the shit rolls downhill kind of capacity, and I understand it to an extent. But I remember when I was younger and people were like, "Well, shit rolls downhill." I'd say I was just going to kick it back up,
Yeah.
because it's you have to give them a little bit too, because if you're just the punching bag on the job, then you're not going to last there. You're going to be unhappy, and it's just going to get worse. So you have to be able to stand up for yourself and say no. But at the same time, somebody's got to bear some of that stress when things come down the line. But I feel like I've always thought that if you're working if you're in a group of builders or a team, a corporate team trying to work towards a goal, you guys are a team. So everybody should bear a little bit of that responsibility, not just one person, or not just the person who's there for the manager to yell out, or the supervisor or the foreman to yell at. And that's where, because I've been on both sides. I've been the boss, and then I've been the employee, and so I can kind of respect both positions, and I understand why both positions think the way they do. But when I was doing management, I was definitely much more in tune with the employee perspective, and I didn't approach it in the way where I would try to beat them up and
Yeah.
make them work harder by beating them up, and then expect them to bear all the weight of my stress for my position. So, but I do think that people have to know their value. And if you're willing to let somebody give you the bare minimum, and you're willing to go in and do the bare minimum, then you're just stagnant. You're selling yourself short, and you're not really accomplishing anything in life, and that's no good.
We probably should have had you go in and wash your face a little bit because you're like
dirty?
super. I just realized that. I was like,
Yeah.
So we're out here. He's out here painting bumpers.
Oh, yeah.
We're hanging out, and I'm
I've
doing a
been
little
grinding
tinkering
steel
and putting a
cleaning.
fuel pump in his car, and we had to go find parts and hose barbs and all kinds
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
And
the
it was a fun
classic.
project.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were out here talking. I was like, no, we're gonna do a more candid episode. Hopefully, where
Yeah, yeah.
we get really into the meat and potatoes of our good Aaron conversation. I mean, this guy's got a lot of smart things to say. I really plead you to listen to what he's telling you. I mean, I know I talk too much. Me and JJ were listening
both
to
talk too
our
much.
our talks, and I'm like, man, I talk way too much. Like I need to here to listen to you talk. I gotta shut up. So you
Yeah.
gotta make sure to cut me off and finish your thing. But I gotta spit out what I'm saying because I forget what the hell I'm gonna say. But either way,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And now it's raining.
Now
but
it's
whatever.
raining, so maybe this should be a short episode, I guess.
Yeah, well, no, send it. So you notice I have this on a stick because I'm clearing my throat and it destroys the audio, so I can move it away when I
We just need Olivia to hold
got a
it up
cough.
over
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I need the boom mic.
Be the
oh,
the boom
whatever.
mic.
This cloud will pass over here in a second. Just let it rain. Whatever. Piss on it. You're
Maybe. It's been raining on and off all day, so whatever.
yeah, but
We've been out here. We were out here. Let's see, what were we doing? Running the torch, the acetylene torch earlier. The welder, all the air tools.
yeah,
Just
kind of giving the shop a
it's
workout, which is
definitely-
great.
Yeah, it was definitely a fruitful day. We got a lot done. which
Yeah,
was
for
nice.
sure. And it's Memorial Day weekend, and we're kind of at the end of it. And we went down to the river and
Yeah.
hung out and stood by the fire and kind of
Which was
solved all the
nice.
world's problems. And that'd
Yeah.
be a good place to take a video.
That would be.
I'm telling you, buy a
We should do that.
campfire.
Yeah.
Buy
Well,
a
no, we should do
campfire. Just has I actually got a fire lit over there. Buy a campfire seems to like.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of going down to the river and bringing the camera set up and doing an
Yeah.
episode down there.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we could actually get some footage of, the river itself, the campsites, and then edit those in.
Yeah, actually do some editing versus just
Yeah.
raw dogging it and
Yeah,
just
that would be
making a video. Well, I'm getting better at
But
it
it's
though.
I think the natural approach is nice too. It kind of,
Yeah.
it's a nice vacation from the over-edited, over-cut
Yeah.
videos that we all see all the time.
Yeah, and people just making shit up. And I've told my viewers I'm not going to make stuff up. If
Yeah.
I do a parody video, if I do a role play thing, I will tell you this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
because people can smell that shit out. Like,
Oh, sure.
here's this person talking to this cop or the security guard, and you're like, this is fake as hell. This
Yeah.
is not
And
a.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's obnoxious. Like, come on,
Yeah.
us people of the internet are really dumb, but collectively are really smart, kind of. So.
Yeah, I tend to kind of let them have it in the comments sometimes. So I'm like, why are you wasting people's time?
Yeah.
By artificially creating a circumstance where you can go off. And,
Gesundheit.
yeah. Where you can go off and stir up drama just for a video. It seems, I don't know. It's unwise.
Who's
and unresponsible.
watching these videos? Like I watch a second of it and I'm like, dumb, keep scrolling.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
like it, don't
Yeah.
share it, don't comment on it, don't give
Doom
it the
scrollers.
attention. Yeah, don't give it the attention because that's what they're going for. Even negative attention is making them money and views and
Right.
boosting their algorithm.
Oh, and that's the
walk
biggest
away.
thing. Yeah, and that's where it boils down to. It's our responsibility. It's not blaming it on the other guy. Like a lot of times I do that. I'm constantly saying like people should do this, but I am people.
Yeah.
So it's like
I should do my own thing that I said that other people should do.
If every one of us stopped giving them the views, stopped giving them the time, stopped giving them comments, and I comment to tell them that they're a joke, and it's like, well, now I've just
Yeah.
added to the pot.
Yeah.
I've given them that satisfaction.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of it.
they
There's
feed on it.
the rage baiters, there's the whole thing, and it's like we need to all collectively just bar them out and say no to them by not doing anything. Just ignore it. Don't watch their video. If you start realizing that's what it is, stop watching. Don't finish it, because I know they track based on
Here's
finishing.
me working out in the gym. Who cares? Like, I mean, if you're putting up some weight, here's my record bench. I want to see that. I want to see people doing good. I want to see their progress. I want to congratulate. Oh, you just put up 350 twice. Great. I want to see that. But
Sure.
like, oh, here's just me squatting for no reason. Why is anybody watching that? Like,
Yeah, I
what's
don't
with the
know.
fitness influencers and that's what I like about the mechanical and the shop guys is
Right.
they're not like that. It's like, hey, I'm giving the world some good advice here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's raining to beat shit, but whatever. I'm giving the world some good advice here, and I look into it and I contribute and do a video of the deuce. Hey, here's how I repaired it.
Well,
Maybe
you
I'm
might be
wrong, but
stuck.
it's
Let me
yeah.
show you how to get unstuck. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of value in that. I mean, those videos.
the hive mind.
Yeah. And I can get behind the workout videos, because if you are, say, trying to get back in beat shape or something like that, so you go and you're like, okay, this guy's doing a routine. I think I could handle this, and it's a walkthrough, like an education video, then that's fine. Like,
But
I
that's not
understand
what
that.
they are, though. It's
lot of
just,
them aren't.
here's how to get a big, thick ass. It's like, well, genetics got you
It
that big,
helps.
thick
It
butt.
helps.
Like, dude,
I don't
get
know,
out
some
of here.
them, some of the squats have helped some of them.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
but
I've
it's
seen
not
some-
usual.
Some
Like,
recovery there. But
yeah.
yeah, but no, it is true that a lot of the time it's just an attention grabber.
let me cram my yoga pants up my snatch and look at my vagina, internet. Look at it. I need likes and attention,
It's
which
always
is
funny the
90%
ones where the
of it.
guys are really awkward in the background because it's what's happening, and even when the guys do it too, there's guys who show up and they're just meatheads,
Yeah.
and they're working out, and it's real obvious of what they're doing, and people around them are just so awkward. They're like,
Well, what's going on with the people that like, oh, this guy looked at me? It's like, well, your tits are hanging out.
well, yeah,
Like, dude, like
if
you're
gonna-
begging for the attention.
Yeah, if you're out there, yeah, exactly, begging for attention, then you're gonna get it. And when you get it, you can't be surprised and you can't be offended, because it's what you wanted.
It's
If I take a shower, put on nice clothes, and do my hair, comb it, I guess would be my version of that. But
it's got great hair.
but
Got
if
great hair.
if I take the time to get ready when I go someplace, I don't get mad when somebody says, "Oh, you look nice."
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
yeah,
I would.
like,
I grin and I say thank you, because
Yeah.
that's a really nice thing to say. And I obviously.
well,
took the
somebody
time
told
to
me
put
my
on some
butt
nice
looks
clothes.
great in these pants.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness,
I love
like
it when that happens.
I mean,
Like-
preferably not a gay guy, but I mean, God forbid a good-looking girl says it, because
Yeah.
Olivia will stab her in the face.
Well,
but
there you go. Yeah. Yep. No, that's funny. It is true though. I mean, it's like when you desire something and then you get it, don't act. It's not cool to be so above it, at that point, because I don't know, it's just silly.
yeah,
to
I mean,
act like you're above
Joey
that when
Swole
you
does
want
all these videos, and he does a lot of great ones. But it's like he's knocked so many people down and put them in their place, but yet
Mm-hmm.
people still do it. Somebody from the internet made a very good point. They're like, well, I think people are making these videos. Oh, this guy's a creeper, because they want
Mm-hmm.
Joey Swole to give them attention, and then they can redact and say, hey, sorry, but now I just got 10,000 new followers.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why
Isn't
they're
that
doing it.
interesting? Yeah, it's like what do you call that? It's like catching likes. Like you. Get
I would
close
call
enough
it
to catch
negging. Negging,
Okay.
where you insult a girl to get her attention and everything. I feel like it's
Is that
negging.
negative? Is that what
Yeah,
that stands for?
negging. Maybe, I don't know,
Like
but I feel
nagging, right? Because I'm not familiar with that term.
negging. Yeah, it's where you basically insult a girl to engage her and
Oh,
build
okay.
her,
So it's
put
like
her
the
defenses
grade
down.
school
Yeah,
hair pulling.
like hey, you look like shit in this outfit and blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
then she gets mad at you, and then you kind
I
of
guess
build her
that-
back up. Like, well, here's what you could do better, and then
I
she,
guess
oh,
that
okay, and
works
then you
though,
go
right?
plow her out
That's
later.
the classic,
Probably.
like being an asshole. Thing.
Yeah.
And I guess it works.
Yeah, I
sometimes.
feel like that's what they're doing, and
It depends on the girl, I suppose. but
Yeah.
It's like it's a tale as old as time.
yeah,
Is the jerk the guy who walks in and is just kind of like loud and annoying and
Yeah.
says the rudest things? He always goes home with her.
yeah, yeah.
What
I
is
don't-
that? I
Which
don't
is beyond. And I've done that. I've done the asshole thing too. Like this girl's
Sure.
like, "Oh, I'm a business major. I'm like, well, have fun managing an Arby's. She walked away. I was like, oh,
I've
what?
done it. I've done it
That didn't work.
inadvertently. I think I've done it before, but I think sometimes you're in a situation and you just start like seeing what's working, what's not, so you just go with it. But I think
Yeah.
I've done that before when I was younger.
Yeah,
Obviously.
much younger. Yeah.
No.
Not that guy now.
No. Well,
Oh
I'm
my
married
goodness,
now,
it is-
so I don't
yeah.
have any need for
Yeah.
the games, But
God, raining to beat piss. Holy smokes. This cloud should be passing over. I thought it was,
this is a nice big one though. But
well, so was the other one, but
yeah,
it's
but
clear skies
it's
over
been
here.
raining
So
on and off all day, so.
hope the phone's even still on. It's getting all rained on. It's probably not even
I
working
bet
now.
it's
but
still on.
yeah,
I bet
probably.
you guys are still watching us,
Yeah.
aren't you?
All right, but yeah, he's out here wire wheeling up this bumper and put a fuel pump in his rig. We're out in front of my shop right now and
Yeah.
doing all kinds of cool stuff. He was trying to get this fitting off, and then I tried to take it off. Then I broke the hose, and
Oh, it was a
oh,
nightmare.
well, fuck you. I tried. So
Yeah, no, it was a nightmare.
he loosened it, and I just finished breaking it. So
I mean, my hand was literally like it was kind of numb at the end of the day from trying so hard so often, and I was pushing and pulling at the same time, like pushing in to help get the barbs off of the
yeah,
the
and
rib.
it just
wasn't.
we need
working.
the right tool. I'm actually gonna go buy
So I saw
the
one
tool.
at Save You More.
Yeah.
They actually have one for like $7.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah,
I should-
it's the metal one where you squeeze it and it
Yeah.
opens the barbs
Well,
up.
I should have just gone ahead and bought that tool, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I was
whatever.
going to get it today, but then I was like, well, I'm probably not going to need it anytime soon.
I
now,
probably
but I should
have.
probably get it though.
There's got to be 20 grand worth of tools in that shop.
Oh, easy.
And my trailer back here. I don't know if you can see it, but off camera, my company
Yeah, the Norseman.
trailer's over here, and there's got to be 20 grand and shit in there easily. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
on the
tools
low
are-
side. I got buddies that got 100 grand.
Yeah, I don't
easily
have as
worth
much
it.
as you, and I've got thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of dollars of tools.
Yeah, well, we're catching up to each other, so that's why we're neighbors. We borrow tools and
Yeah, pass
break
them
each
back
other's
and forth.
shit, and I mean whatever. That's how it goes.
That's how
So,
it goes.
but we talked earlier about. Okay, so good question. Give some advice to your younger self about investing or what you would have done better or
I
not.
would have absolutely started investing a lot sooner.
Have you invested?
Yeah, I've
Good.
invested.
In the Vanguard?
Well, I've got like stocks. I've got some bonds, and then I've got a Roth right now. But
Good,
I've
yeah,
also
yeah.
been, for the. I've been talking to a couple people recently. It's really just fun. But have you heard of the Acorns app?
I have not.
You haven't. So the Acorns app, I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It basically is a roundup app. So what you do is you can start a Roth or a savings account. You can get into bonds and stocks. But what happens is you get a debit card, and well, let me start with you have a checking account, and you can set it to whatever you want. But I've got it set to every 2 weeks. Every week. I think it's every 2 weeks. I put so much money into that checking account from my main checking account.
Yeah.
And then they take a portion of that and they invest it, and you can tell them what kind of stocks you want to invest in. Like recently I was doing the AI thing, quantum. But then you can get into pharmaceuticals, you can get into whatever you want. And so they'll automatically take some and invest it in those stocks for you. And then you can review the portfolio and see like, yeah, I want to stick with that, or maybe you don't, you want to move it over to somewhere else, and you can do that. But a portion of it goes into your Roth, a portion of it goes into this. And then every time you use your debit card because you can put $5,000 in there if you
Yeah.
want, and then you can just use your debit card to make your purchases. But every time you make a purchase, they take the amount and they round up to the next whole dollar, and they take that, and then that goes into your investments as well.
I got a debit card that Bank of America did something like that. I'm like, okay, cool. So when I would tip,
Yeah.
all drunk as shit, so I probably did it wrong. I'd be like, okay, so I tip 1 penny over, so they take that difference and invest it. yeah, I had $40, $80, $90 worth of fees every month or whatever. I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
well,
no.
I'm doing something wrong. I piss on it. I close the account and
I tried that with an app called Robinhood, and it was the same
Yeah.
thing. It was like it was costing me more to be a member than I was making back. And I told them that
got to stay away from banks, credit unions, Navy
Yeah.
Fed,
Yeah, credit unions are much
Alaska
better,
USA,
yeah.
or Global. It's Global Credit Union
Well, and it's
now.
important to know if your bank, if you do go with banks, if they're investing in things that, say, you align yourself with. Like I had to stop working with Wells. What was that? Wells Fargo down here in
Yeah,
Homer?
yeah.
I had to stop working with them because they were kind of up to a lot of stuff I didn't really agree with.
Yeah.
Which was,
It's a bank.
it's a bank.
Yeah,
they're
they're-
in it to make big money. And
Yeah.
they take our cash, and they give us the promise of a future, return.
0.1%. Like, dude, get out of here. That's why you
and
got to
then
go
they
with
get-
Vanguard and all these other bigger
Imagine if you
investment
had
firms.
10,000 people. Obviously that's a low end for somebody, for a bank like them. But imagine if you had like 10,000 people come and just give you their paychecks
Yeah.
every month, or every paycheck, here, and they just give it to you, and then you have all the money. You can do whatever you want with it. But when they come back later and they're like, oh, hey, I want to take like $10 to go and get this thing, or like maybe $60 to get this shirt, and you're like, okay. So you give them $60, but
I'm going to charge you $4 to get that $60.
yeah, but because you're holding all their paychecks, you're going to charge them a fee. You know
Yeah.
what that is? That's like a Ponzi scheme. Like people do that. They there was this guy. He acted like he was an investment firm, so to speak, and people gave him their money. And then what he did was
Bernie Madoff.
He made himself rich, obviously. And then when new people would invest, he would take their
Pyramid
money.
scheme.
Yeah, and he would give it back to the old investors and say, like, look, I'm making you money. While in reality, he's using everyone's money and just using the new guy to pay off the old guy to keep everybody reinvesting. And it's called a Ponzi scheme. But it's kind of what the banks are up to these days, is that
Yeah.
they take all of our money, they use it for whatever they want, and then later on they use other people's money to give it back to us, and if they make, some wins, I guess.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. I mean,
It is.
I'm all about everybody making money, but Jesus Christ, we're getting
Yeah,
absolutely
but-
raped at the drive-through here. Like,
Right.
dude, like
If
you
you're
got
making 1% on your money over the course of fucking
Yeah,
your
like I
lifetime.
got like a 92-cent dividend from Navy Fed or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
versus in the Vanguard, I look at dividends. I'm like, oh man, I made $400 last month and
Yeah.
got these things on auto deposit. And I did the episode about like how to invest. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm saying here's
No,
where to get
yeah.
better advice. Like
everybody should
Dave
seek out
Ramsey,
their own
Susie Orman.
education,
This is what they're saying, and I'm reinforcing it as to
Yeah, if you're allowing someone on the internet to give you financial advice, then I mean, they say a fool and their money are soon separated. So, you can't take random advice from the internet. You have to do the due diligence, and it's not
Yeah.
easy. It's confusing and it's hard, and you're looking at 16 different things trying to figure out which one's right. But the fact of the matter is that you have to do that.
Keep talking to the internet. I'm gonna go get us some beer.
All right. But anyway, so like what we were talking about was the whole concept of knowing your value at the workplace. And when you're at the workplace, a lot of times the culture is to kind of beat you down and make you feel like you're not really as valuable as you are. Your ideas aren't worth much. And you shouldn't go in and try to run the place. Obviously, they must have a model. They must be successful if you're working there. So, but the thing is that you have to realize that if no one worked there, they would not be successful. So they do need you guys. And if you're working hard and you're actually prevailing, then you need to be compensated for that. And so by knowing your value, thank you. You're sort of you have a good leg up, and that all starts from the very beginning. Once you get to a certain point of being able to handle things on your own, if you're new to the workforce and you've never done much and you don't have a handle on things, and obviously you're not going to walk in and demand a lot of money. But once you've established yourself in the area that you're working in and you know how things go, by a certain point, you should be walking in and interviewing them. You really should.
Yeah. And one thing, a lot of things, be on time, stay late. They're paying you to do it.
Yeah.
Be on time. Don't take days off. I mean, if you're sick, that's fine. But you kind of got to man the hell up. I mean, I was out on, this is a good story. So I was out on a drilling rig.
Yeah.
And we got, everybody got like a stomach issue. I don't know what the hell it was.
Yeah.
I was literally shitting in a bucket on the rig floor because we couldn't make it to the bathroom.
Wow. Yeah.
In 5-degree weather, blowing 30 knots.
Most
pulling our
guys
pants
have been
down,
out there.
blowing it up, and wiping our butts with paper towels, and dumping it in the porta potties when we're all carrying each other's shit down the stairs
you
and
gotta
dumping
do.
it. Yeah, because the rig must go on, and people. Oh, when a man's sick, he just lounges, and the mom still has to vacuum and everything else. It's like, dude. I'm glad this came up. Everybody's got to stop jerking themselves off about their struggles, because oh my goodness, this was so hard for me and everything else. Somebody else has it worse. Stop trying to like compare each other to what we got going on. I mean, I carry a tool belt around all day and all these things, and I don't sit here and say somebody's lesser than me because they work in an office, because somebody works in an office
They have their own
and is doing
struggles.
payroll. There's all kinds of things. But
I would say, honestly, like working in an office, those people, they tend to not be as healthy if they're not out there at the gym after work every day. It's kind of.
I weigh 175 pounds. I've lost 10 pounds since my last doctor visit.
Well, we get a lot of exercise, and I'm not in great shape or anything, but we get a lot of exercise at our work. We lift things, we get cardio in, things of that nature. And those office people, man, they just don't get. They tend to not be as healthy, and a lot of that can hit them in the emotional sense. They don't feel well.
Well, that's part of the problem. I think a lot of the mental health our country has is people like, I need medication because I'm depressed.
Right.
No, you need to go get some sunshine. You need to go walk.
Fresh
you need
air.
hey, maybe the people around you suck. Like, somebody have to pay me a lot of money to drag me away from my job now, because I like the supervisors, I like the foreman, I like the contractor.
I love the guys I work with.
And that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so invaluable, because it's so mentally healthy. Like,
We've
y'all
got
joke
each other's
around and
backs.
everything's cool. I mean, I've been in job sites that were so toxic. Got this dude's a total dickhead. Your supervisor sucks, and you don't like the
I've worked
job.
with guys that are terrible.
Dude, make sure before a doctor prescribes you medication that you are not in a unhealthy environment, and people like, oh, well, I shouldn't just have to work myself to death and everything. It's like, well, I like having a cell phone, so I need to go build something for somebody so I can have a cell phone. You're welcome to go work or go live out in the woods. You're welcome to go chop wood and start fires and build your own cabin, but you still got to buy a chainsaw, or you can use a hacksaw, or not a hacksaw, but a wood saw.
Help in some way, and economically, I mean, we've gotten so dependent on that help, and it's unhealthy to an extent. And and I was telling you, I think I've mentioned that before. I had a friend, I still do, but he was very unhealthy. He was physically unhealthy, mentally he wasn't very happy, things like that. And he's doing the office, button-down shirt job thing, which is fine. But he lost track of the self-maintenance part of it.
Yeah.
And so I took him down to the Smoky Mountains and took him out hiking and camping.
This is a good story. Yep.
Yeah,
Keep going. This is a good story. Tell the whole story.
So, the whole point was to get him out of the house, get him out of the suburbs, get him out to the forest and the mountains, and just, hike, take it in, run around, climbing cliffs and following the river, the whole thing. And it was definitely, he really enjoyed it. But when it got a little hard, and part of the story was that it started raining really bad. And so he wanted to go and find a hotel. And I was like, well, we're already here. Let's just do it, So we set up a campsite. And I was able to clear the wet leaves to create a dry space on the ground, put down our campsite, our tent and everything else.
And he was shocked by it.
Yeah, he was really surprised because he thought it was just all a waste because there was nothing dry around. It was pouring rain. It was, but I was able to source dry material from the inside of a tree that was hollowed out, and start a nice fire. And as things progressed, as we got the camp set, we had the fire started, the rain stopped, and then everything was great from there. And it was a really good experience, and he really had a good time. And we hiked back down the next day. It was a good experience, but doing what we do, and I'm not saying we've got the answers. I mean, everybody's different, but doing what we do, we're always out, in the sun, in the fresh air, sometimes on the water.
Except
I
when
do a
there's
lot of
sheetrock
things.
dust.
Right. Yeah. But so I mean, it weighs on you a lot when you're not having that kind of exposure to nature and to the kind of things, exercise. That's really important to your mental health. And if you're not getting it, if you're in a building all day trying to use AI to make yourself rich, you're chasing the wrong thing. I mean, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but I think
you're not.
Yeah, I think too many people give way too much credence to trying to be wealthy in the United States today, having adoration and attention via the internet. They think that if somebody likes their videos, then that somehow means that they are loved. The video maker is loved and valuable. But there's no substitution for having good friends who actually care about you and getting out there in the world. Go, take a weekend and some friends and get everybody to pitch in and go rent a little boat and go out on a lake, and just take it in. Go hiking with each other. And I met a guy recently who doesn't like hiking, but I was trying to talk to him about what he did like and things that he could do to get out because he liked playing video games too much. And I was like, well, that's cool. I like video games too. But yeah, it's really important to get out there and have those life experiences. And
don't live for the weekend either. Like, you work 5 days a week. You got to get a project. You got to have some kind of project or something else to take your mind off of the work. You should like your work. If you don't like your job, quit. Go do something else. And it's actually absolutely criminal that, I can't because my 401k is with these people and I can't lose my health insurance. Yeah. And that was another episode. Yeah. Like, we need something where we can career hop a lot more than we do.
Yeah, because it's like that song, I owe my soul to the company Stowe.
Yeah.
If you feel like you cannot leave a bad job.
Episode too.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But if you feel like you can't leave your job because you're shackled,
that's toxic.
That's weird. Yeah,
toxic.
That's an automatic red flag. You should never be scared to leave your job for something different or something better. If you love your job, then you should feel empowered to stay there because it's something you love. But you should always be capable of doing something different. If you ever feel like you can't, like if you were able to, like I think I could probably go to any state in the union and be successful in finding another job, something that I would enjoy, things like that. But it took me some time to get there. I don't think I could have done that as well 20 years ago. But if you can't say go to another state and start your life in a slightly different manner because you feel too shackled by necessity, then something is wrong. You're not succeeding in the way that you should be. You should be capable of say, separating yourself from bad people and bad things if you have to. But if that's not the case and you're doing really well and everything is great, you love your job, then you're doing great. That's awesome, and I applaud you for that. That's
gotta find some kind of passive income. Like we can all do it, and don't look for instant gratification. And we were talking about trucks, and I've harped on this. I've harped on this a lot. Like, there's a difference between looking for instant gratification and like getting a taste of what you can do. Like, hey, I can buy this $40,000 truck. I don't really need it.
Yeah.
Get a $15,000 rig to motivate you and get a little off the top of your what you're doing.
Yeah. No, it's good sometimes
have something
to
comfortable to drive to work. Something the AC works and the heater works, and that's totally fine. But don't overextend yourself. Broke people stay broke by trying to look rich and impress people and everything. I'm more impressed by the guy that drives a total piece of shit and keeps it maintained and everything else. And I know everybody's not a mechanic and can't do the maintenance of stuff, but don't overextend yourself, because rich people have all this money because they live within their means. Well, a lot of people with a lot of money don't. My buddy told me, he was just like, yeah, you do realize people that make $200,000 a year, 30% of them are completely broke.
Yeah.
You go to do, you're a carpenter, you go to do a kitchen restore, and they're just like bitching about what it costs, and it's like,
oh yeah,
well, you got all this money. It's like, well, yeah, but all their money is tied up in payments.
Right.
Oh, those Mercedes-Benz and the BMWs and that big Denali truck, the diesel that they drive to work for no reason.
Yeah. That's what my wife is always saying. Yeah, she always says that if somebody is living like this amazing dream that you could only ever wish for,
they're overextended.
The odds are that they're facing issues in other areas. If they have the money to pay for it all, maybe they have people clinging on to them that want that money, that don't care about them, or maybe they are spread too thin and it looks like they have that cash, but they don't.
We're not success and financially flexing. We are debt flexing.
Yeah,
is what's going on.
Yeah,
I got more debt than you. Why the hell? I know girls that drive diesel trucks. Like, why? You can get yourself a 2010 half ton.
I mean, if she's gonna haul a gooseneck with a skid steer on it.
They're not. No, they're not. And then somebody from the internet is gonna be like, well, I do dirt work. I'm hauling bulldozers. I'm obviously not talking to you, dude. Like, come on, compartmentalize and realize,
the cul-de-sac cowboy.
Yeah,
the one with the big truck who goes home and parks it in the driveway every night and doesn't haul anything.
Yeah, just come and
I mean, sometimes they look cool. Like I'm that's fine. Like if it's your passion and that's what you want to do is get the big truck and put the lights on it and the cool accessories.
Yeah,
great. Okay, that's fine. But you don't really
poor as shit, and you're not maintaining it, and you're not changing the oil because you can't afford it.
Yeah, make sure everything else is taken care of before that's your priority.
I've known plenty, like yourself. You bought the big diesel truck, but you got something affordable, and you're towing lots of shit, and that makes total sense.
No, and that's the thing is it does open avenues for me, like the possibility of having the skid steer towed and the excavator and the fifth wheel camper and all the things that for me have value because those are the things I intend to use it for.
Yeah.
But if I was to purchase that and just sit on it and never use it except for a daily driver, I would say that it's probably an over.
Well, you were talking about putting a plow on it. I'm like, dude, just hire me to do it. I'm telling you, like.
Yeah, wear and tear is tough on vehicles when it comes to plowing. I mean, everybody who's got a plow truck should really want an older truck, not too old, but something with some power. That you can really ram into things without worrying too much. Because if you've got a 3500 2025 and you're putting a plow on that so you can ram.
We'll make an old truck out of a new truck real quick. It destroys your components. I mean, it's not the 1,000 pounds that the plow weighs, it's the fact that it's 3 feet off your front bumper, and it's
everything is absorbing all of that.
Oh yeah, it just destroys things.
Yeah, especially wet, frozen snow. Yeah. When you're dealing with that stuff, man, it overheats fast. It just really wears it down, and it's not the best idea. If you're gonna do it, get something that's got a little bit of age. You're not really reliant on. Don't go get your fancy truck and then put a plow on that. I mean,
unless you're making lots of money with it. You got big. It's usually plowing Walmart parking
I mean, if the
lots or
value is
something.
there,
Yeah,
if the value
you
is
gotta.
there,
You
that
gotta.
would be great to have like
Oh,
some good
or
commercial.
Safeway
Yeah.
or Save You More. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
these guys. Those are the contracts you want.
Yeah.
But I'm doing random people's yards, which is
Sure.
fine.
Which is fine.
You're a random people. I
Yeah.
plow your.
Oh well,
Yeah,
like
which
my
I did
brother,
once.
he had a landscaping company, and in the summertime, all of the F-250s, F-350s were used for landscaping, pulling trailers, et cetera, et cetera. But then in the wintertime, we strap plows on all of them, and we'd run around and plow residentials, commercial, stuff like that. But the money was there because we had enough contracts, but also. We had enough plows and we had enough contracts that there was we were able to be charitable too. Like my brother always, every time if you were driving past like a church or an old folks home or anything like that, he
Pull in, plow 'em out?
Yeah, pull in, plow them out. He'd be mad at you if you didn't do it. If
Yeah.
you didn't stop, he'd be like, "Did you hit that place on your way?" Because he knew you had that area, and you'd be like, "Oh no," and then he'd be like, "Well,
That's the Alaskan way. Like, you look out for people around you. Like, I mean, if I had, like we were talking about building my storage unit, it's like, yeah, I'll give you $30 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You're worth more than that, but hook a brother up. When I'm building my fifth set of that, here's $100 an hour. Let's drag all of your
well, I just think it's
good
great to
people
see."
with you,
Yeah.
some degree. When they have skill sets, go build a skill set. I'm telling you. I mean, I understand.
That's really a good thing
I
to do.
understand people don't want to do plumbing and cut apart shit pipes, but it's gonna.
There's good money in that
suck.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it's gonna suck. Like, just. But you get so highly respected in the community when you're willing to do the shit work, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah. Well, and I think that there's a bad. I feel like, especially when I was growing up, I think that blue collar jobs, as they were called, got a bad rap. I think that a lot of people said, "Hey, I don't want to grow up to be the guy who fixes AC units or does plumbing or works on cars." But the thing is when I was growing up, everybody said you got to go to college and get a desk job, and that way you're going to get rich and it'll be great. And you'll have this great life and all these things.
How's that working out for everybody?
Yeah.
Oh,
everybody's on
you guys are all
fucking
broke
pills.
and.
Yeah.
I'm not saying fuck you to everybody that works a desk job, but
Well,
fuck
but now,
you because
they're working themselves out of a job too with AI.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, they went off and they went and built a machine and a software that can do their jobs working themselves and the next generation out of a job. Desk jobs are going real fast now. Unfortunately, so are the actual skilled trade jobs too, because they're making machines that can do those things too.
You have a robot do what we're doing right now, and that's going to be a long time.
Yeah.
That's Terminator status.
No. You won't have machines repairing 30-year-old, 20-year-old, 10-year-old vehicles. You're just going to buy new. There's going to be a machine that's going to assemble a brand new vehicle, and that's what you're going to have. Now, granted, in the long-term scheme, I mean, if you're not working because the machines are doing everything, you won't have an income, you won't be able to buy it.
Somebody's got to fix that machine, though. The machines cannot fix themselves.
Yeah.
There's no way they got the dexterity. There's no way they can put PB Blaster on something and file off the threads and put all that together. That will never happen.
I don't know.
I don't think.
We'll see.
Maybe it will.
I mean, things are getting crazy already.
Yeah, maybe it will. So.
Quantum AI is it's already designing new technologies. They discovered a new form of matter.
Of course they did.
Yeah, using AI and quantum computing. Yeah, but they also that they made light into a solid, light photons.
I heard they stopped light in.
They did
Poland
stop
or
it, but that
something.
happened a long time ago.
Froze it. Yeah,
that happened
like
a long time
30 years ago.
No,
20
no.
years ago.
Recently, they took light photons, which are the reason I can see my hand right now.
Yeah.
They're everywhere around us, and they turned them into a solid. Like it's actually they turned them into.
They froze it, right?
They didn't freeze it. They just molecularly, when you take water and turn it into ice, what you're doing is you're slowing down the motion of the molecule, because when it's in a gas form, it's moving radically. When it's in a solid form, it's moving more slowly and more uniform. And then when it's in a solid form, it's still. So all of these molecules are connected and they're still, which is why metal, for example, is very hard. It has a really tight connection, but then as you heat it, the energy causes the molecules to start moving and scrambling, and then they can fall apart into liquid metal. So photons they're not gas, they're not solid, they're not liquid. They're a completely different form of matter altogether. But they were able to take those and slow them down and get them uniform, connected enough that they became a solid, almost like a crystal in a way or something. But
No shit.
yeah,
That's insane.
AI and quantum computing has helped them to make light into a solid.
We're doomed.
It's
Terminator.
well,
We're doomed.
that's
We're doomed.
not
They're
the
going to take
new-
us over.
Yeah, so then they also discovered a new form of matter too, which is separate from that. And this new form of matter, they're talking about using it to make self-healing things. Like, for example, if you use this form of matter and applied it to like your phone screen, if you break your phone screen, it will self-heal automatically. And that's what this new form of matter can do.
We need that shit. But I also have to pee, so we're going to take a quick break. I assume you do too, so.
Yeah, well, let's, I think maybe we should wrap because I got to...
Okay, yeah, no, let's wrap it up. So you got shit to do. So thank you for joining us. I hope you learned some stuff. And
It was good talking with you guys.
any real quick wrap up?
Any words of wisdom? I guess know your value, and when you go into a situation, like if you're at a party or anything and you walk into the room, just know that you're worth more than what you might think you are. And this is true. Like if you go to a job interview, you should be interviewing them to see if they fit your standards. Don't be egotistical. Don't go in thinking like I'm the man or the woman and everybody should bow to me. But go in thinking like I deserve to be in a place where I can shine and I can grow and become the person that I want to be, career-wise or personally, it doesn't matter. But yeah, just know your value and go in there and make sure you're in the right place with the right people.
and not just work yourself into poverty either. I
Right.
mean, that dude that's just like, oh, I can only afford to pay you $20 an hour. It's like, you're worth $1 billion. You could literally give me $5,000 a minute, and it would
Yeah.
not even
Right.
affect you. So
Yeah.
just look into that. Okay, anyway, all right, Aaron. So we'll do the wave off and
Yeah.
peace out. All right,
Later.
thank you, Internet. Thank you for joining us.